back in 2010, I started my ice road trucking career, and that season was pretty successful. It was a shorter season. It was a slow season. The next season after that, the temperature kind of made the road last a little longer, and there was a little more freight to go up north. It was also the year that was probably my worst. It started out with, I had a load of wire mesh that they use when they drill out the mine holes. They line the walls and shoot shotcrete over it and build the walls. Ended up losing a few straps on that. They ended up cutting, and I went around one corner on what's actually known as Charlie's Hill. People might remember that from the show. The load, it was, I don't know, just before sunrise. Came around the corner and look in my mirror and I see the load is shifted off the side. That was problem number one. That ended up taking about 5 hours to fix. I had to bring the grader down and fix it all, restrap it. But that was actually pretty easy compared to the next issue that I had. The road itself had been open and closed constantly all night. There was blowing wind. The snow was polishing up the road. The road was impassable, and they got us up to the rest area known as Lockhart, and we ended up staying there for so many hours because everything north was getting blown in. Halfway doing my laundry, and they finally said, all right, the road's open, so I quickly grab my underwear and I go get to the truck, and I think I was number 3 in that convoy. They sent a whole bunch of us out just to kind of help speed things up. And we come up, and it was going to Snap Lake, which is your first turnoff off the main road, and you got, I don't know, about a kilometer and a half of lake, and then it's a straight hill going straight up with a little hook at the top going off to the left. Well, again, as soon as we get there, somebody had spun out somewhere on there, so they ended up closing it. We're doing donuts out on the lake, just trying to keep it moving because you don't want to sit on the ice, right? Right. So finally, road opens up. Great, we're getting going. First truck climbs up the hill, does it like a champ. Second truck, same thing. And I'm waiting for it to clear because we got enough distance that if he screws up, we can turn around and do the donuts again. He gets up, gives me the go ahead. I'm like, all right. Start grabbing a couple of gears, start going up, and I could feel that it was a little squidgy. Like I said, the wind was just polishing that ice up. I get going up the hill, and I had a 96 Freightliner Classic. Front steering axle in the front. Yeah, the yellow one. Tweety. So I'm driving up there, and I'd had steering issues with that. It would always ski, no matter what I did. I'd have to, going around corners, I'd have to take my foot off the throttle, hit the jake, let it kick out, mash on the throttle, and get going. That's how I'd normally turn with that on the ice. Well, this is a little skinnier. You couldn't quite do that. I get up to the top, or at least the first plateau, because after that I go up even more. Get to that corner, and I start turning the wheel, and I'm not going anywhere. I'm going like this. The road's going this way. I'm going this way. That is until I hit the fresh powder off on the side. Now I'm preparing, man. I'm going in here. I'm bracing myself for impact over here. All of a sudden, I'm spinning around, and I'm going this way. Road's going this way now. I'm going this way. No matter how much I crank, my wheels are just going every which way but the way I want it to. I end up flying off the side of the road. Went over about 3 rocks, which were probably about as big as this area here. Basically, I hit the first one, and the bumper caved in, and it launched me up over the next ones. And I stopped about that far to the next big one. It's sitting there. Things that were in the top of the bunk are now at the bottom of the cab, and vice versa. Everything's all over the place. I quickly get on the radio. I'm like, Grampy, don't come up, don't come up. My trailer, I think I had 1 axle left on the road. It definitely wasn't passable. Now, thankfully, they've got another lane over here, so they were able to open that one up and get traffic to go. They ended up having to crane my trailer out of where I ended up putting it. It took a few days. Now the amazing thing is when you look at the pictures, you'll see the drive axle is up on this side and it's back here on this side, and just the carnage of the bumper and the steps and everything. You thought that I wrote it off. Turned out I just broke a couple of U-bolts on the axle, a couple of airbags popped. I mean, it's still big problems, but the truck was salvageable. They were able to pull it out. A storm blew in while they were doing that, so it took about 2 weeks to get the truck down, but it took about a day and a half to fix. After that, I got going. I was really careful anytime I went up that hill, which I think it was only 1 or 2 more times. It was definitely a trip. Yeah.
Is that it? So that's it. That's the end of the story.
I believe that is the end of the story.
Yeah, I ran into old world famous Eskimo Sean in, of all places, Texas. Who are you? Oh.